Gorilla Comm going 10.8. Yep, you heard me right. It's not Gorilla Geek anymore. It's Gorilla Comm. I figured, given the opportunity to change my screen name, I've opted to go a little bit more professional sounding. Not that I'm ever going to go professional on this gig, but it's still going to be the same platform of me goofing around on camera, contributing to the community with whatever little contribution that I can muster up, and that's about it. Anyway, this video is, I don't even know what to call it. It's not a bug out bag video. It's not a get home bag video. It's not a camping kit video. It's somewhat all the above. You see, during the summer I usually deploy to wildland fires to provide comm support to the personnel out there fighting these huge wildland fires here in California. So I'm on call, and at the drop of the dime, as far as giving me a phone call, I could deploy within a half hour. I'm on the road heading to an incident, and it could be any incident. It could be riots, earthquakes, natural disasters, but typically it's wildland fires. And the wildland fires, what's unique about them is it's a prolonged process. I mean, you're out there deployed for weeks on end, whereas a riot could last for maybe 1 or 2 days, or a natural disaster could last for maybe rescue and recovery could last 2 to 3 days. This is my kit on what I use to deploy to those incidents. Not only that, it's got my adverse weather survival kit here as well, along with my 72-hour get home bag kit. It's all encompassed into this one self-contained kit that I've built up for myself, or what works for me. And what you see here in front of you pretty much has been a 6 to 7 year evolution of what worked for me and what didn't work for me. What you're going to see is what works for me. I'm not even going to go what didn't. But this is my kit right here. The firefighters and especially the wildland firefighters, they have something called a red bag, which is this humongous big bag that typically would hold 65 pounds worth of gear, that has everything that they need to live out of for 2 weeks, 14 days. Typically on the wildland fires, it's an assignment for 2 weeks. You could be extended, but that's another story, another video. But for me, typically I don't go no more than 14 days, and lately I've been going 14 days and then some. So you're gonna have to have in that one red bag, which is like the name they put to it, because that's what, and I guess back in the day you had this one big red fire engine bag to go out of county to these incidents to respond to, and you don't know where you're going to get sent to. There might not be hotels there. It's going to be out in the wilderness. You're going to have to camp out, fresh clothes in there, you name it. Stuff that you need to function for 2 weeks, including food sometimes, because when you get there, the field kitchen might not be set up yet. The field shower units may not be set up yet. Base camp infrastructure will not be set up, so you're going to have to prepare and take care of yourself. I have a little bit of a luxury of just using my assigned work vehicle and packing it the way I want it, and including my tools, test equipment, and gear to support these guys out in the field, where the firefighters, they come out in crews where they man an engine. The hot shot crews, they're a crew of I think 11 people, and they travel in these buggies. So you know, not one guy could be out geared more so than his crew member on the same hot shot crew. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got to be somewhat the same. I mean, they got their own stuff, but it's the same volume of gear, where I have a little bit more luxury of hauling more crap, because I'm only in charge of myself. So that's the backdrop story about that, and let's get into the gear, what I bring out. And this is kind of cool because it's not only out there to survive 14 days out there, or to to be outfitted for 14 days. But like I said, it could be a get home bag, bug out bag, which I don't condone. That's just my thing, unless my place is getting burnt out and I have to get out of Dodge quick, or you name it. I like to model this after the unit I used to serve in when I was in the Marine Corps, and that's the Marine Expeditionary Unit, which is pretty much 2 battalions worth of Marines floating around in the ocean somewhere waiting for trouble. And their tenet is to have, I think at the time was 30 to 60 days worth of gear to just rage hell upon the enemies of the United States. Basically be self-sufficient for 60 days to do what they need to do. I believe the airborne units are the same way. Rapid deployment, self-sufficient for a certain amount of time before the rest of the backup comes in and maintains them. The wildland firefighting community, it's almost the same thing. 14 days worth of gear to do what they need to do and be self-sufficient without help from the outside. And that's the model that I like to copy or emulate to do my thing as a prepper, father, or in my professional field as well. And ironically, I'm making this video the second time because the first time around I just got back from an incident. I was on vacation, so I was organizing my gear, getting ready for the next potential phone call to hit the road. And sure enough, I was filming, I was doing my thing here on YouTube, and I got that phone call as I was yakking on the camera. The footage that I took sucked, so I'm redoing it completely. So, by the way, the dog is not included in the deployment gear here. So let's take a quick look at what I got here. My system is not one big huge red bag per se. I have mine set up in sort of a modular system here. So that's my clothes, underwear, and all that stuff there in this green bag right here. This bag right here is my PPE bags, my personal protective equipment bag. So as an example, that could be like your flak jacket, helmet, and all that stuff. In my case, it's fire equipment to protect me out in the line, Nomex and all that. And I'll break all that stuff out. And the boots goes in the bag, but they're dirty and I want to clean them up and maintain it before I stick it in the bag again. This is my shelter bag right here. It's got my tent, some odds and ends, and this is part of my shelter bag as well. I got three poncho liners in that thing, and I explained why it's outside. It's too bulky to fit into the bag here, and I have one of those cheapo Walmart or Home Depot tarps underneath. I think a 7x10. Psst, hey, get away. Good. And that there is my 72-hour bag right there, and that stays in the truck regardless what season it is. It's there 24/7. These 2 bags here is seasonal during the summer, including the shelter bag here, and part of my shelter bag would overlap and go into my 72-hour bag. And this is my everyday bag right here, day hike bag, like I said, an everyday bag that I use every day with me. So depending what time of year it is and what's going on, situational awareness, I may have all or part of this stuff with me. Minimally, I'll have this bag and this bag with me at all times. So here we got our garment bag, and this is what I got in it. I got some 511 tack light pants, and mind you, I'm supposed to use sort of cotton pants or Nomex pants like these guys right here, but I don't go on the fire line too much, not like the crews out there. I would go out there to deploy equipment, and that's about it. So I afford myself a little bit of leeway with having light, cooler pants rather than the heavy canvas. But I will be transitioning over to Cowheart pants instead of having like this tactical look of the 511 pants. They're great work pants. That's why I got them. They got deep pockets, plenty of pockets, and bulletproof. These are forest wildland firefighting Nomex trousers there. This is my shower kit and my toiletries, toothbrush and all that good stuff. Pair of shorts, flip-flops, but I'll be converting over to Crocs here. And I know some guys think Crocs is just as bad as flip-flops, but unless you try them, you don't know what you're talking about. Laundry bag and the good old USMC skivvy roll. What it is a roll, a convenient little roll that has everything that you need: underwear, socks, and a t-shirt. And it's just convenient. Just pull one of these out, change your clothes, and boom, you're done. And that right there is my garment bag. So here's my PPE bag, my personal protective equipment bag. Boonie cap for sun protection, leather work gloves, wildland helmet, goggles. I got some earplugs attached to this as well. My Nomex wildland fire trousers and top. And I'm using deuce gear here, vintage early 80s deuce gear. It's an H harness, not the Y harness. This was brand new when I brought it, old stock. It's got my radio harness on there. M249 ammo pouches, which serves really good as a tool bag here. I got some zip ties in this right here right now, and I think the other one I have some other crap. And in the back here, military surplus butt pack here. And I have some broken down MREs, some snacks, some food basically, in case I get stuck behind the lines for some reason. And the firefighters, they got more expensive gear. There's Wolf gear and some other gear, True North. Harness, load bearing equipment there. But they're out there for a long time. They're 16 hours, some 24 hours. Me, I just go out there to deploy equipment and come back or respond to trouble calls or something like that. So I'm not out there as long as those guys. So I don't need the expensive heavy duty gear. This is okay for me. So there you have it. That's my personal protective gear bag. These are my fire boots. They're NFPA 71, I think, approved, and that's like mil spec for some of you guys out there. It's a standard that has to be met for you to go out to wildland fires with the correct protective foot gear. It's not supposed to have a metal shank on the sole there. No, what do you call that? Steel toes. And some other stuff. And these are made by a German company called Cosmas. Traditionally, there's Dan White boots, Whites I think they call them, Danner boots, and some other logging type boots out there. But like I said, I'm not on the line 24/7. I don't need that stuff. This here is a cross between wildland boots and mountaineering boots. It's made by a German company, and what I love about these is there's no break-in period. I mean, I wore these day one without having any problems or anything like that, and really comfortable. They look like moon boots, but it served me pretty well. And I use it too to hike around my neck of the woods and snow traveling and stuff like that. So it's dual purpose for me, but they're also fire rated. So here are the contents of my shelter bag, which is the green bag right here. And the bag themselves, all three of them are the same. They're Cabela's basic bag. I think they're $30 at the time that I bought them. Non-rip nylon duffel bags, just plain duffel bags. It has only one pocket, a small one on the side, but it served me okay, no problems. And I have them in different colors so I could identify them more easily. So nothing special there. Tarp, self-explanatory. Just a plain old hardware store tarp. I think this is a 7x10 or something like that. and I've been transitioning from tent camping to hammock camping, so I've been using that to build a tarp over me while I hammock. Sleeping bag, no explanation needed, but what's cool about this bag is I got it from Marine Corps DRMO, which is like their surplus stuff before it hits the civilian market. And this bag in particular is a North Face experimental sleeping bag from the early 90s, and that's how long I've had this. I had this since 94, 93. And it was given to our Force Recon for them to test out to see how it is. I mean, it's much smaller than those big, bulky sleeping bags of the early 90s and 80s. Stuff sack crunches down as far as compression, and it's been doing me pretty good for 20-something years already that I have this damn thing. The Gore-Tex seams, tape seams are peeling off a little bit, but I can still go down to around 35 degrees Fahrenheit with this guy right here with the proper clothing on me. This is a Marine combat tent. I made a video about this going up against another tent. Bulletproof, that's all I could say, but it's quite heavy, and I think it's at 9 pounds, I think, with all the accessories. That was my wife. I wonder if that was a calling call for me to come and join her or what. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Mrs. Gorilla, she's a keeper. Anyways, I lost track of my track of thought there. And boobies always do that to me. But anyway, that right there is a Costco inflatable foam pad. It's pretty good for 30 bucks. And that would go inside my tent there when I go out and stuff like that. But it's kind of big and a little bit bulky. Better than some, better than none. But it's good to go. I had no complaints about this, except that it's a little bit bulky.